prominent persons in the dais, Lieutenant General Raviji, the President Vidarbha Association, Mr. Atul Pandey, Vice Chairman, Co-Chairman of DIIA, Mr. Ashok Atluri, previous speaker, Mr. Ravindra Singh Bhatia, the earlier speaker, Mr. Sartaj Singh, Shri Amit, and others on the dais, the prominent people who are associated with the defense sector, defense manufacturing, on the policy level and also on the ground level, and various representatives and dear manufacturers, media friends. I am very happy to get invited by both Vidarbha Industry Association and DIIA for this today's program in Nagpur. Nagpur is a very important place, long neglected. It has not obtained its due. Why, I don't know. Now slowly it is getting exposure. Particularly in the defense sector, when defense sector becomes important and vibrant, I have full faith and hope that Nagpur will definitely get its due share. Nagpur is the place which is deeply located, and because of its deep location, it's secure from all sides. And the people of Vidarbha are also very peace-loving people. Leaving some part of Vidarbha, which is part of Dandakaranya, where some challenges you always get in the name of insurgency. Leaving that, there is no challenge for the installations which are here and which will be coming here, keeping the long-term objectives of the Indian security. So, Vidarbha Association, definitely they have done good job by identifying a correct association and correct sector, which can become an escalator for Nagpur. Nagpur can grow in Indian economy to its full size when you have few important escalators, which I call logistics is one escalator and defense is another escalator. The political demand of that Nagpur is neglected and Vidarbha is neglected. Definitely, I don't go into the political, investigation of that neglect, but definitely I can say, with these two escalators, the feeling which is there among the people, among the entrepreneurs and among everybody, that will be disappearing soon. So, in that, definitely you have identified a correct sector and a correct line. So I am happy that Atul Pandeyji and Vidarbha Association have done a good job by organizing this program today in Nagpur. And the organizations which start in Nagpur and the programs which start in Nagpur, they have a tendency to become global and stable, and globally stable. So, definitely, and being a General Secretary of BJP, I would like to always be away from the politics. But ultimately my profession is politics, so I cannot be completely away. Even if I am away, you will not be respecting me. So in this government, Nagpur has definitely acquired more powerful position and status. So Nagpur will not be neglected as long as this government is there in Delhi under Modi Ji's leadership. So Nagpur is important and defense is very important. So definitely there is a good partnership and good combination. And you have a job not only for today, this Vidarbha Association and DIIA. So you should have a regular interaction and partnership to do this job to reach its conclusion, logical conclusion. Now coming to the today's subject, my job is done already by the motivating speech. It is not only a factual information combined with the motivation. Ravindra Singh Bhatia ji and earlier Sartaj ji. India with its size, the kind of factors which we are now experiencing, population is one important factor, and population is going to grow. This is the country with the growing population for the next 25 years. You have all other countries which are not growing population, means they will be coming down, so there will be aging of population, aged countries. Even China will be facing that, but in the next 25 years, again, India is the only one country with the, not only the largest population which it has today, as Ravindra Singh Bhatia ji has mentioned, the average age of Indian will become 29 in 2020. So it is going down. So young population is growing. So it has got attending issues when you have the young population on this size. If they are not going to have opportunities and stable situation and stable ecosystem and a kind of hope giving situation, the security itself is a very important, it will become a factor. The security of this, not only a territorial location, territorial area, but the huge population itself has got a security aspects. So peace in this country is going to ensure peace at the global level. And because of the population and because of the whatever the attributes which we have as a population, we will be growing as economy. And our investments in the country and outside will grow. And our assets in India and outside also will grow. So when you have the security definition will also be every day getting widened. So protection and safeguarding your assets outside and both inside will become important. So you have to understand, in coming years, 3 important countries will be playing a very major role at the global level. One is established and second is also established. The third is going to enter into the global place. That is, after America, after China, India is going to become the place. These are the 3 countries, whether anybody wants or not, and Russia. These are the 4 countries which will be having a major role in determining the global security framework. We have not entered into that table now, but tomorrow we have to enter. And we will be doing it. And another important point I would like to say in this, the vision is changed. Anybody, Sri Aurobindo once he told, that when the country or a society is not going to change itself and going in a direction which it is destined to go, sometimes nature intervenes. Sometimes, in the same way, nobody can appreciate and welcome, but Chinese intervention has changed the defense outlook of India. Without which we would not have been the way, even at least what we are today. So Chinese intervention or invasion in 1962 has changed the defense policy approach of India, whatever we have today. Without that, we would have been thinking that investing in the peace or principles and maintaining a very good neighborly relations, and whatever Buddha has said that non-violence, or Jainis have said non-violence, it would have become a state policy. Means not having the ammunition itself is a value which will help as a country to survive. Not that having the ammunition as a deterrent is needed, even not having the, not having anything visibly peaceful and pursuing the non-violence in a true sense, even discarding the army one day. So that will be creating cultivating even among the neighbors that you are the good person. As a country, you should survive in the interest of the world peace. That was the thinking. Today it is not there. So in coming days, this has to be, that thinking is there. And it is getting consolidated. And it is getting into the policy framework in incremental way. As a leader of the BJP, I can definitely say this is the one party. This is one single party. I don't want to score the point, but I want to put an analytical issue on record. This is the one single party from its inception which has been saying that defense of the country is very important. And without intervention, we would not have been doing that whatever we had done in the Pokhran first, and then today the second Pokhran. Now we are progressing in a different way. So BJP as a political party has taken always India's defense preparedness and India's participation at the global level is very important. Consistently. Not in a general way, but even in the different contexts. So under the present government and under the leadership of Narendra Modi ji, definitely as the Prime Minister, as when he is there, self-reliance and India's defense preparedness and India becoming a military power will occupy the highest slot in the nation's priorities. This is going to be the very important aspect. It means what? It means self-reliance in defense sector. It means in the next 10 years or 15 years, the priority is first how to reduce our dependence on the foreign sources, foreign countries. How we can create Indian muscles, domestic players, domestic muscles. Then in this, definitely, there is a, apparent contradiction, but I don't see that in that way, that foreign investor coming in. What is the difference between importing from the foreign companies and foreign companies coming into India and producing here? People may not see what. I feel rather than importing the complete product, it is always better making the companies to come here and produce here. It is preferred. But definitely it is not a lasting solution. Lasting solution is Indian domestic players. So we have to now in coming years create a policy line where slowly Indian manufacturers, Indian private players and Indian domestic players sometimes becoming partners with foreign companies, sometimes becoming partners with the government companies, but slowly emerging and getting established. This is the second immediate target. So that what will happen? In coming days, I am looking into, and the government also, Indian domestic players are able to provide solution to the domestic challenges or the Indian security challenges. Sometimes foreign players will help us in learning the global standards and global practices. Sometimes even technologies may also come. But in the long run, technologies also have to come within this. And we are capable. When we are capable of providing persons for NASA and other things, we cannot do our own. It is not impossible. It is not a difficult thing. So we can do. This first target is how to reduce imports and how to become self-reliant in an incremental way. Second, how to create our establishments outside in order to protect our own assets outside. Indian assets outside, Indian investments outside. India is not a country within its territorial limits. India is a country which has to be a player at the global level. In the Indian Ocean, it has to be a player. In other areas also, it has to be a player. And we have to be a player in the Middle East, and we have to be a player in the Southeast. At least, minimum. And ignoring India and becoming somebody playing a role, it is not going to help. Not only it will damage the Indian interest, but it will not be a good situation for the global peace. So, then when you create this kind of situation, then global markets are also very important for Indian entrepreneurs. It's very important. And it is possible when you have this kind of domestic market, and entrepreneurs who are groomed in this market will definitely become capable to play a role, a competitive role at the global level with this kind of market. So this is a very important thing we are visualizing. In this, unlike other sectors of economy, defense is a unique sector. You have a milk market or you have a chocolate market. That is different from the defense market. In a chocolate market, the people are going to decide. It is an open market. But in defense market, always government will be playing a major role. Not only in India, anywhere. Because it will be the big purchaser. So there, it is forever. There should be a very trust-building partnership between the government and defense establishment and the private sector. You need not have the same partnership in other markets. But here in defense market, it will be a continuous, sustained partnership which builds trust, which is based on trust and long-term vision and long-term objectives. And India is the country of the entrepreneurs. Don't think India, now you have to create entrepreneurs. India has been the country of entrepreneurs for the last 10,000 years. Recorded 6,000 years history and even before that. And we have ruled. And we have ruled the global markets without, at that time, required defense establishment. How we could have ruled? It would not have been possible. So India is the land of entrepreneurs and India is the land of brains. Even after helping America, we can help ourselves. So I don't have any doubt about the availability of the adequate brains or brain power. So this is a land of knowledge, this is a land of entrepreneurs, and this is a land of ideas, which always it is there. So what I am saying is the determination and the conviction that India should become a player at the global level, and by achieving the self-reliance at the domestic level only it becomes possible. And the current account deficit is a very important thing which has been there and which will be there. Fortunately, next, for the last 2 years and maybe next how many years I don't know, this bills on the oil imports has come down in an extraordinary way. That is helping us. Otherwise we would have been in the bad shape. And Narendra Modi is not a lucky person to come here now. It's not the lucky situation. So this is not a lucky times. It is the hardest time. Global contraction is there. Economy, you have to understand in, creating exports. Most difficult time now. You cannot visualize that India will become an exporting country in the manufacturing goods. Whatever the targets, 25% of the GDP, based on the exports, based on the domestic markets, I can understand. But next 2 years or 4 years, it will be very difficult time, because the global trade is contracting and globally in different countries surplus is contracting. There is no surplus in America, there is no surplus in Europe, and India has been looking for all these years for the surplus countries. So where will you be exporting? So there is but definitely there is food markets or other manufacturing goods and all these things, sometimes they go down and they come up. But this defensive markets, they are, always it's a constant situation. And sometimes even when you are in the crisis, then your defense markets also, the size will go up. In the Middle East, the defense spending will go up definitely. Even last predictions will have to be revived. In coming years, the defense requirement of Middle East will be going up. So we have to focus on manufacturing sector. Particularly the success of Make in India campaign will depend completely on the defense sector. This is a very important thing. So in my view, leave about all gloomy situation, but the defense area, it has a stable factor. In coming years, defense is going to be a very important market for India. In this, government, irrespective of governments, even any party, in coming years, the stability will be. The path which is now pursued, it will be pursued. Sometimes less vigorously, sometimes vigorously, but this is going to be there. So manufacturing sector and defense sector integration and linkages are going to be there, and the success of Make in India or the success of any ambitious plan to achieve the increased share of manufacturing sector in GDP will depend on the defense manufacturing. So in my view, this has to be taken. And in this, MSMEs are going to be very important. Foreign investor coming in, foreign player coming in, all policies are on the paper. And we have an independent judiciary is also there. We know what is judiciary and what is the bureaucracy in India. And tomorrow, all of a sudden, it will not become a different bureaucracy, and all of a sudden, it will not become a different judiciary. All are going to stay, even with reforms, with changes, incremental improvements, it will stay. So sometimes, these things also work in our favor. Because you know the depths, you know shallows, and you know the ups and downs in the water here. The way Indians know about India, foreign investor cannot know. So without combining his efforts with us, without partnering with us, They cannot get into, even with sub-policy support, they cannot get into what Lieutenant General Raviji, you know, the Sena Bhavan or Raksha Bhavan, it becomes very difficult. Nagpur people know how to contact Raviji. You know, they combine many things. This is India. Sometimes combining caste, sometimes combining language, sometimes combining some other thing. So, all these things are going to help. MSMEs are well placed. They have know-how, how to decode and how to create a code. So in my view, I am not going to explain all those things, we all know. We have the advantages with all odd situation also. The advantages which we have will help us. And without MSMEs in coming days, the defense sector are achieving the self-reliance to any level, it is very difficult. Investments and Indian banking sector is in crisis, and the locked up, stressed up capital is, it is there outside, and it is creating lot of problems. So within this situation, MSMEs, with all difficulties, with all challenges, they are well placed, and they only can play a role in supplying or in creating that kind of self-reliance for the defense needs. In this government has got a clear ambition and clear conviction. And we also, in a parliamentary system, definitely we have all problems. But on defense issues and security issues, bringing consensus is possible. We have to understand that. All defense-related challenges can create consensus within the parliamentary system in India. We have done it. So in coming years, DIIA and Vidarbha association kind of associations definitely, work with those parties and leaderships. This is a professional work, and this is a India interest work. It is not a party interest work. It is an India interest work. So bringing consensus is possible. And defense is going to be one of the important areas where consensus is comparatively easy. This also I want to put it. And in this, now in coming days, how we can create partnerships to bring this kind of change. Partnerships with the establishment, this legislative area, and the second, the establishment, defense establishment, and the public sectors, and the private sector, and within the private sector also different associations. I don't have any problem with the CIA and FICCI. They also will play a helping role. But we have to understand the limitations of these organizations. I am not against them. I always speak to them, so I tell, they have certain limitations. Any party, you are as an entrepreneur, you know what is the limitation. CIA, it does not represent exclusive interests of defense manufacturers. FICCI also, it does not represent the exclusive interests of defense manufacturers. When they do not represent exclusive interests, sometimes when you have a different package, 5 issues on table, then defense being the last category for them, it gets neglected. The possibility of getting neglected is more, and sometimes the possibility of getting a subject of trade-off is also more. When you go for negotiations with the government or at the international level anywhere, when you represent the Defense Manufacturers Association, for them it is not the priority. For them, it being the last, it can become a trade-off. Okay, I give this to you on the table, then okay, I can ignore now, because I do not represent this. So now we have to create an exclusive organization for the defense manufacturers. Today they may be 20, today they may be 200, but tomorrow in India, the defense is going to be the important sector to provide the employment opportunities for so many people. When it becomes self-reliant within India and when it becomes a player at the global level, you can understand what opportunity it is going to provide. So, in that, the number of MSMEs, the number of big industries, they will grow. Lastly, I would like to say, Government of India and the defense establishment and the associations, they should have to play a kind of hand-holding and hand-guiding. Hand-holding and hand-guiding is very essential. And it is not the interest of, we should not see the manufacturer's interest as a professional interest. We should in coming years term it as a national interest. Defense manufacturer's interest is directly linked to the national interest. It does not mean that the other sectors are not linked to national interest, but I am saying it maybe remotely. But defense manufacturing, defense production is now very important and high priority job, so directly linked to national interest. So with this, in my view, I have explained the importance of the defense manufacturing sector and the role of the DIIA and the role of VIA and the role of, as a person myself and as even the political party BJP. And now definitely with all this, when Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji is there and we have a leader like present Defense Minister Manohar Parrikar, who is very clear-headed and very committed and very simple and straightforward. So in my view, this is the best time to accelerate the persuasion from our side. Whatever advantages we want to get, this is the time to pursue and this is a time to present our case forcibly. And even in the foreign investment issue, I feel whatever may be the global situation, in India, I take foreign investment will be always a supplementary factor. It cannot be a central factor. The role of foreign investment in Indian growth story, it will be always marginal and additive, and it cannot be a substitute. This Government of India also knows, and the leadership of the government also, they know better. So my appeal to all of you is, we have to work on all micro issues and macro framework, and we have to have a consolidated approach. And sometimes if we have to pressurize the government, nothing wrong, it is in the interest of the country. We have to make the government to understand, we have to make the all political parties to understand, and they have to play a role. And when we become strong and a little more stronger, then definitely political parties and leadership and bureaucracy, they will also willing to join with us. Thank you.